So I was watching this podcast on YouTube, and it was two melanated gods on there. They both got carbon in their skin. Two melanated, divine masculines, and it was a divine feminine on there too. Melanated goddess. You know, but basically, long story short, they got to a part in the podcast where they was basically he asked him. He said if someone come in your house with this box, and he say, in this box I have a button, and if you press this button you can have anything in the world that you want, but you can only have one thing and you can only have one of it. And but whenever you press this button, a random person in the world gonna die. Random person a die. A completely healthy person a die. A person who was already finna die would die. Just a random person that die. Okay, and then so he say, but I already got everything that I want. He said, I already got everything I want. He say no, but you gotta push the button. You got to. He said, or your oldest son to die. Your oldest son to die. So it's like one of the things like where you gotta press the button. He said you gotta press the button. He's like, all right, well, one of the other guests that was on the show before him, one of the guests said he said he would want a new earth. He would want a new earth. So that's one thing. That's one whole earth. That's one thing. That's one of it. One whole earth. So if he was to ask for $1 trillion, he would only get $1, because you get one thing, you get one of it. So money is a thing. But if you ask for $20, I'm gonna only give you $1, because you can only have one of it. So I'm not finna come give you 21s. And I can't give you a whole $20, even though that's one bill. It's still 20 of it, not just one of it. All right, so he said I would want the Garden of Eden. Then I want the Garden of Eden, and cause he said I'm gonna tell that. He said I'm gonna tell that hoe, if you eat that apple, I swear to God. You eat that apple, I swear to God. But look, let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the bullshit. I wanted to speak on that because a lot of people don't really understand who Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden was about, and the apple and all that. So Eve basically means the very first, the very beginning. So that's why Eve was the very first woman. Eve, the word Eve just means the very first, or the first of something, or the very first or very beginning of something. That's why when you have Christmas Eve, it starts the very beginning of a new year. Every time, Christmas, December is the last month of a year. And then they have, after Christmas, you got Christmas Eve, and then it starts January. It starts a whole new year. It's the beginning of something. That's what Eve is. It's the beginning of something, the start of something, the beginning of something. Okay? So, Eve, we know that white people was not here first. Black people were. In fact, there were no one here at first other than black people. Okay, so we ain't even got to get into who was here and who wasn't here. And black people was here first before anybody was on this earth, period. Okay, the greatest civilizations on this planet that ever were in history were, present day Egypt, which is your ancient day Kemet. So those are the greatest civilizations. That's where everybody at one point in time got all their means of living: clothes, food, any kind of resources, anything you deem to have to live, you got it from Egypt at one point in time. So, So Eve, when they was talking about Eve, they was talking about the black woman. Because Eve, remember, Eve was not a person. Eve is the very beginning of something, or at the very is the start of. It's the very beginning of something, or something that was first, or the very beginning of something, or the start of something. That's what the Eve is. Okay? Adam. So that's what the Eve was. That's what the whole Eve was. Also, but let me explain. Before I get into Adam, let me explain Eden. The Garden of Eden was in a garden in Egypt. That garden that was in the Bible was in Egypt. So, this whole landmass, this whole planet is Africa. It ain't no New Orleans. It ain't no Massachusetts. It ain't no Maryland. Ain't no Atlanta. Ain't no Kansas. Ain't no New York. This whole planet, this whole earth is what you would call the Garden of Eden. Because you have Upper Egypt, you have Lower Egypt, Southern and Western Egypt. Before they came and invaded and started naming shit, this is this state, this is this state, this is this state, this is this state. It wasn't no states or none of that. It wasn't no continents. No. This earth is one whole landmass. So how you gonna have something else that's separate from it? How you gonna have that state Atlanta, this state New York? It's all the same shit. Cause you gotta think about it. It's like having this finger right here and this finger way over here. It's not like they separate from each other because they both still they all still on this one hand. So it's like if you got a circle, right? Let's take this circle. You can't have a state over here. This is New York over here. And then over here is Connecticut. Yeah, but they still not two different states though. They still on one whole landmass though. Even though they separate. That's like taking a cookie. That's like taking a cookie and goddamn splitting it in the middle. It's still the same cookie. I don't give a fuck if you say this is Texas, this is New York, motherfucker. It's still the one landmass. Cause it's still connected. I don't give a fuck what you called it. You named it something different. It's still one landmass. So we gotta understand that there are no 50 states. There are no continents. It's only one whole landmass, which is Eden. Egypt. Africa. It's all the same thing though. Africa is Egypt. Egypt is Africa. And that's all that is your ancient day Kemet. Where you got your black pharaohs and you got your Kush and you got your Kush tribe people. You got your Mississippian tribe people. But before all that, you had your Mayans and your Aztecs and your Incas. If people call themselves Inca, baby, you don't know what that is. See, Inca was a tribe. Inca was a tribe of melanated people that populated this landmass. Okay, so Eden is a place in Africa. The Garden of Eden they talked about in the Bible, that's a place in Africa. Where they said, see, Eden was a place in Africa. That was a garden in Africa. See, that was a place in Africa is what Eden was. Okay, so then you get to, so that's what Eden was. That's what Eden was. Eve was not a person. Eve is the beginning of something or the very start of something. Okay, now let me explain what Atum was. Atum also was not a real person. Adam is Atum. See, when they spoke of Adam, they spelled his name Adam. But when they were talking about Adam, they were actually talking about the atom. The atom that's inside of a cell, or your atom. Atom's apple. And this is also, now we go into when she bit the apple. See, it was not, see, when they made all these stories in the Bible, what these people did was make these stories literal. These people wrote these stories and put them out to people and had people believing that everything in the Bible literally happened. These stories that happen in the Bible, these things did not really happen. These things are not literal. See, they made the Bible literal. They basically historicized the Bible and made it literal. None of the stuff that went on in the Bible was real. It was not a real thing. It was interpretations of something. It was a way for certain people to explain something in a way that, like how they say something can't be explained, has to be experienced. But these people tried to put it in a way where people could get it. You see? But it was so hard to still explain it in the way they did, to where it's like they had to make it literal. Like, people think these things that happen in the Bible, these things literally happen. All these Moses and Peter and John and all these things did not happen. These people and the way they named these people in the Bible, names and all that, none of those things. You know how when they got like one of them movies that's like a documentary and it's based off a true story? You know how they got the movies that's based off true stories? It's like that. In the movie, they say, before the movie come on, they say, based off true story, but names have been changed, dates have been changed to protect certain people. That's basically what they did with the Bible. See, none of the stuff in the Bible actually happened. But see, a lot of names was real though. A lot of names was real, but they changed them. See, they put names on faces that wasn't his name and faces on names that wasn't his face, and they did all kind of mixed up. They put events happen in places that event didn't even happen. They got events happening in places where that wasn't even the place that it really happened at. All kind of shit is what they did with the Bible, okay? So, when you get into the Atom apple, they're talking about the Atom's apple. What do you call this? The Atom's apple. That's why Adam was a dude. Dudes have Adam's apple. See, Adam was not a real person. They were symbolizing the Atom apple. That's why when you look at the MacBook and you got the Apple products and the iPhones with all the Apple on it and the bite out of Apple, these people know what's going on. See, it wasn't a real metaphorical Adam, A-D-A-M, and some hoe he had with him took a bite out of an apple. They were symbolizing the Atom's apple. When they was talking about Adam, they weren't talking about the A-D-A-M. They was talking about the A-T-U-M. Atom. Before you have a cell, you have atoms. Atoms is one of the smallest components to ever exist. You can't see with a naked eye. You gotta put it under the microscope to even see an atom. And even then, you probably still couldn't even see an atom. You can see cells, but I don't think you can go as far, even with a microscope, to see an atom. What the fuck? You feel me? That's an atom. The Atom's apple, and this is what you see. That's where they got the whole. And see, it was in the tree. It was the tree of knowledge. This apple, with the tree that the apple was on the tree of knowledge. You had two trees in the Garden of Eden. You had the tree of knowledge, and then the tree of knowledge, and then another tree. I forgot what the other tree was. I won't say for sure, but y'all go look in the Bible and see if y'all want to. You had the tree of knowledge and another tree. But basically the other tree don't matter, because the tree that they ate from was the tree of knowledge. And they said, God said, don't eat from this tree. Now remember, everybody in the Bible was black. The whole Bible was about black people. The whole Bible was about black people. I told y'all this before. Samson has super strength, but where did he get his super strength from? They said his locks. Well, we know white people don't even have that kind of hair. Their hair can't even form into locks. So they was telling you right then and there in the Bible that Samson was white. See, they just put white faces over everything so to confuse y'all and give them weird white names and shit. But when you look into it and what they saying, because they put the truth out there, they just gonna put what they do is though, they put the truth in there, and then they throw 99 lies in there. And then they'll start the next paragraph, put a truth in there, throw 99 lies in it. You feel me? But the truth is in the Bible. The whole truth. They just spreaded that shit out amongst a gazillion lies. You feel me? Truth ain't even that long, nigga. Damn, nigga, you had to throw a gazillion lies in there, though. You feel me? You didn't have to throw a gazillion lies in there. So, but basically everybody in the Bible was black. So keep that in mind. So when this dude, so-called God, Pindar Moloch, was saying, don't eat this apple from the garden, from the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. Don't eat this apple from the tree of knowledge. See, everybody think Eve was the bad one, but remember, everybody in the Bible was black. So the black woman, Eve, was basically telling Adam, yo, let's eat this apple so we can gain all the wisdom of the gods. Because we already are primordial beings, already primordial deities, cosmic beings. But these people came invaded and caused us to fall in frequency and fall from our higher selves. That's what the so-called fall of grace was. The so-called fall was that Lucifer took. Lucifer means enlightened or luminous one, which was us. So the so-called fall from heaven was the carbon beings falling in frequency from our higher self to our lower self. Now we ignorant as shit and all kind of shit. But black people never was this way. We had it all up here and here. And y'all know to this day, we physically superior than every race on the planet. We constantly prove that on the football field, and just in general in regular life, we just prove we just superior physically. But we was also superior up here too. They just brainwashed us. See, they got us to a level on where they think, because the physical don't really matter if you ain't got it up here. See, if they can control your mind, they can control everything else. Period. They control your mind, they can control everything. So don't give a fuck how big you. If they control your mind, you would be a dumb, stupid motherfucker, big ass dude. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have it up here, and we had it both, physically superior. And you got to think about it. Who the fuck was the bullets for then? Who the fuck was the guns for? Who was the guns for? If we physically superior to y'all, why was guns created? If you got a race of people you want to oppress and you can't beat them physically, and you want to enslave them and their ancestors, you need something to get the job done. Cause you ain't gonna get it done by being physical with them. You ain't gonna get it done by trying to physically go at us. So you gotta get something that'll physically take us down without you having to come at us with your physical being. So they created guns. This is why guns were created. Guns were created for their ass, because they couldn't fuck with us physically. Motherfucker, we guns, y'all know guns is a new thing. Guns is a new thing. That shit wasn't never here. Motherfucker, what do we need guns for? Before Christopher or Cristobal. See, because y'all ain't know Christopher Columbus' real name is Cristobal. Oh yeah, Christopher Columbus, your real name Cristobal, bitch. Yeah, you ain't know. So look, when he so-called first discovered something and people was already here, but I guess they missed that, you feel me? It was black people here. We was warriors. We was all ripped up, and this the thing, because we only ate the sun. We only ate the sun, and we ate natural foods and stuff that increased the electricity and the magnetic field within our bodies, and we ate the sun and drunk water. That's it. So when you seen this, bro, we was like super tall and lean and muscular, but we weren't like a vascular muscular. We was like a super lean, fine muscular. You feel me? Like one of these, but I ain't muscular enough. I ain't no big dude enough. I ain't muscular. But this is just a depiction of like what we look like. We was like super tall and super muscular, but we was kind of like a lean muscular, like a skinny muscular. Like, you feel me? Because we ate the sun. See, when you see people that's bulked up and big like that, that's because they eating all these foods. And when you see, this is why they say you gotta eat. If you want to gain weight, you want to get big, you gotta eat though. You can't just be working out. You gotta eat something. You gotta put something on. See, when you eat all that stuff and you work out, when you see people like that, all big and stuff, just know they ate a lot. They ate a lot and worked out and shaped the muscles after, from and eating a lot. But when you see all them big muscles, don't you know that's food? that's sitting on them? All the food they done ate too. Don't you know that's food sitting on them? Acidic acids from the food sitting on them. That's why you see them dudes them professional weightlifters do. That's why you see some of them. They fuck around and have a stroke or a heart attack or something because they didn't gain so much muscle. It ain't the muscle. It's from all the shit they putting in their body on top of the muscle to even gain the muscle. They eating all kind of foods, doing all kind of antibiotics and steroids and all kind of shit. But when you see these, and a lot of people, not everybody do steroids. But when you see these people out here that's big and cocky, bro, just know all that weight that's on them, that's dead flesh. That's dead food. Acidic acids. Stored all up on their body everywhere. Yes, it is. Oh yeah, you better know it. See, that's why we never was like a huge reveal like that. No, we wasn't. That's why when you look back in history, anytime they showed you us in history and our ancestors and showed us in history, anytime you seen a black person, we was tall as shit and we was lean and muscular. You never seen us in history. Even when they showed you the pictures of the slaves and all that, you never seen no slave cocky and built like we was lean and muscular. Nigga, cause we sat out in the sun all day in the fields, nigga. Drinking water and barely had food, nigga. We was eating the sun. Drinking water. You hear me? Hell, the slave masters, they knew who we was, but to see us up close like that. And then it was even more of a spectacle to see us in the sun, bro, cause you know they can't really fuck with the sun like that. And definitely not the sun that was on our planet before Nibiru. See, Nibiru is we got that sun out there now, but Nibiru is it's the great big sun. Hell, the sun in the sky is the sun to Nibiru. You feel me? For real. That's how big Nibiru is. Nibiru is a planet, a sun, and an ecosystem all in one. See, but only beings inhabit it who can be on the frequency and take the frequency of the sun, though. Okay? So when you seen us, we was always lean, muscular build, but like a lean muscular build, like fine, like when you seen this, like somebody sculpted us with a fine pencil. For real. For real. You know, so that's what the whole Garden of Eden truly is, and where it truly was, and what they was talking about when they was talking about Adam, and what they was talking about when they was talking about the apple, and what they was talking about when they was talking about Eve. Y'all better know. I'm saying y'all better know who y'all better know. You feel me? So I just wanted to come on here and give y'all that because I seen now, like, damn, you know what? Let me go ahead and speak about what the Garden of Eden truly is. Let me go ahead and tell them who Adam truly was and what they really meant when they said Adam and where you got the apple from and Eve. You feel me? So I just wanted to give y'all that. I just wanted to give y'all that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be good, you know? Be peacey. You know what I'm saying? Catch up with y'all later, you feel me?